Hello everyone, I'm Higgsy007. How the hell are you? So this is a commentary I've wanted to do for a while, and yeah, talk about a case of bad timing. As we all know, a guy called Keemstar made a video earlier this week, and he talked a lot about the Call of Duty community and how it's suffering at the minute. So this is the video that I had actually scheduled to upload for last night. Yeah, I decided to take it down and completely redo it, but I kept in a few of the points that I wanted to get across, and bearing in mind, it's easy for me to sit here and say now that I made this video before Keemstar. Whether you believe me or not is another thing. So let's get on with it now. I'm gonna break down a few things, and obviously this is all based on my experience and my opinions, but I've kinda took my time and sat back and analysed the best I could in this situation, and I kinda want to share it with you, and I want to hear your thoughts as well, whether you put it in the comment section, or as you know, I'm always up for a chat on Twitter, so you can let me know. It's basically about, is it still possible to be a commentator on YouTube? Let's have a look. Cast your mind back to a few years when YouTube was just a little baby, and it was full of cute little kitten videos of them falling into a bath, or fucking drunk people falling into a bath as well. But that's when YouTube was fun, when it was completely unknown. Then some people decided this was, I suppose, an easy way to get themselves into a media spotlight, a way to be heard without getting on the radio or television. It was simple and extremely accessible. Simply buy yourself a half decent microphone and something playing in the background, or even just a still picture, and if you were good enough, people would subscribe to you and follow you and listen to you, and even interact through comments or messages. Now, early in YouTube's life, a young man started a trend that I suppose would continue to this very day. Now, anyone remember a guy called Blame Truth? He was the very first Call of Duty commentator. Now, he set the benchmark for Call of Duty commentaries, and obviously grew his channel quite big, and soon after more and more followed. Now, I don't want to sit and name names. I probably will name drop a few people within this commentary, but a few people that I followed back in the day were people like Sandy Ravage, and believe it or not, I actually followed Woody's Gamertag, and obviously Thunder was kicking about there as well. Those guys, those were the people that I aspired to. They had good, honest topics and opinions, pretty decent fucking Call of Duty gameplay as well. Well, apart from Woody, they had Call of Duty news and info, and I think they always portrayed themselves in a very genuine manner as well. They were content in being themselves, but that's really because, back then the industry wasn't oversaturated by so many channels trying to do the same thing. Us as viewers, we hadn't a great variety to choose from, and obviously that benefited those channels at hand, and they hadn't much competition. But when you think about it, lack of competition can lead to complacency, and some people doing fucking half-arsed jobs, knowing that they have a following and they could just upload any old shite. Now, I'm obviously not pinpointing those guys, but I think you know what I mean. You kind of jump to the present now and look at YouTube, and I know I've said it in numerous videos, and I know lots of YouTubers have said it as well, but this industry is oversaturated with people trying to get their foot on the ladder. They're trying so hard to get some bit of recognition. Even some people go as far as buying subs and sub-botting, just to see their sub count grow or get bigger. Now, I'm no different. Alright, we'll stop. I don't sub-bot or sub for sub, but I do work hard on a video and a commentary, and obviously I want to see my sub count get bigger. I'm not going to dilly-dally, we're all the same. I do enjoy it, but we want more views. We put hard work into a commentary, or put hard work into a montage, and you want more and more people to see it. I do like sitting down in front of a microphone and spilling out my emotions, or just talking about random stuff, but so does millions of other people, and that makes it really, really difficult to grow. But then that's back to the old conundrum, why should you subscribe to my channel? Or say for instance, why should I subscribe to you? You're just a new channel, you do the most up-to-date Call of Duty news. I'm already, well I'm not actually, but we'll use this as an example. I'm already subbed to LEA or T Martin. Or why sub to me to listen to a commentary when you're already subbed to Thunder or Apocalypse, or you know, those guys say it in their own way, but that's what I'm doing. It may be deemed as copying, but it's just, I suppose it's just me. If you want to do the up-to-date news, that's just you. I'm just using that as an example. I'm kind of going off topic. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not that guy. But what I've noticed since I started doing this myself is that I do find myself drawn to the so-called smaller channels, because they are the ones that put in the effort. And it's only, I suppose, recently that I found myself doing that, and I've ignored the guys like LEA and T Martin for the news, not just because they're extremely obnoxious, but I just feel that the smaller guys put in the effort, and I like to support the smaller community because those guys put in effort. And funny little story, I know one of my friends actually sat down one night and, you know, did a full 10-minute commentary, and after sitting back and listening to it, he basically wasn't happy and completely scrapped the whole thing because he didn't feel it was the best that he could do. And that kind of reiterates what I'm saying, is us smaller guys, we do really put in effort, and if we're not happy with it, you know, we won't do it, or we won't. It's like the big guys they don't put in much effort, but they just put out any old shite. You know, they have their fans, their followers. You know, take for example LEA's last couple of videos, they were supply drop openings, and I know Apocalypse spoke about this over Twitter, and it's like, what the fuck, supply drop openings when Advanced Warfare is so dead. You know, think about it, who's going to search for that? Who's going to put that into YouTube search engine? But the thing is, that guy LEA still gets millions of views, or at least hundreds of thousands anyway, with very little to no effort or thought that gone into that making of that video. You know, as for the thousands of small, and I hate saying that word, but we'll use the sub count as the comparison, small YouTube channels that, you know, they upload commentaries that actually comes from the heart, or they spend hours sitting editing a really cool montage and they get very little views. You know, that can be demoralizing, almost soul crushing, but they pick themselves up and dry their tears and do it all over again. And I've noticed so many people in this small, you know, YouTube community that I'm in, they do that, and they do it so well, and that takes balls, and that takes dedication and heart. You know, as I say, they pick themselves up and do it over again, and maybe their next video they get a few more views and maybe even a few more subs. And obviously, as a relatively small channel myself, I still do put in a lot of effort, and I do see from the community that I'm involved in. You know, each and every small channel puts in their best and somewhat unique input into their uploads, and you really do have to sit back and appreciate that. You know, what I would like to see more, and I suppose this has gone back to Keemstar's video, is, you know, if we really did start helping out each other. And I know I've did the podcasts, and I've let some people upload to my channel. I've got help in the past myself from, you know, help from the likes of Boston Chaos and Apocalypse. And, you know, if we just started helping each other, and it really, what Keemstar said in his video makes so much sense. Okay, it's easy for me to turn around and say, yeah, I'll help you. You know, it's really difficult, but we really gotta fucking pull together, guys, and get this community back up and running, and make it, this isn't a dog eat dog society. It should be, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And I'm not looking for anything out of this. I've kind of gotten I've gotten my gettings, so to speak. You know, I've gotten my huge shout out from Apocalypse, but even if it's just a case of leaving a link in the description to a video you just watched, and I have done that, and I will continue to do that. You know, so it's important obviously to check out my links, because if I see a really good video that's inspired me, rather than obviously copy it or make a video about it, if I just leave it in the link, and you know, it does make sense, and it really does help out, and it boosts that guy as well. And as a Call of Duty commentator, I think we are struggling to get recognition on YouTube. I do believe that persistence pays off, and you know, with help from other larger community channels. I suppose even like TSG is great. It's unbelievable for the community. You know, it gives us a platform to stand up and be heard, and sometimes criticised, but in a good way. I think we have to take criticism as constructive. We learn from it. Just one kind of quick question: is it time for the bigger guys to start, not say stepping down because they're doing a great job, but really helping out the smaller guys? Because from what I see, it's really only, I may be wrong, but I think it's really only Thunder that has this really big community channel. And I know there is a few community channels kicking around, but I think Thunder's the big main one that comes to mind. And I would just love to see more people. Obviously we can't get in direct contact with the big guys, but it would be nice if they started helping out the smaller guys. And I don't just mean a shout out, but even a private message over Twitter to say do this or do that, or you're doing this or doing that wrong, or just point us in the right direction. Because I do really feel that the Call of Duty commentator community could possibly die a death. And I know Black Ops 3 might revive it a little, but is it enough? I'm not sure, but let me know what you think. This has been such a fucking depressing commentary. It's like, I don't really know what to say. But yeah, it's just been one of those moods. And the fact that I've had to redo this commentary again, you know what, the first one was really good. It was fucking epic. So yeah, lesson learned, don't ever redo a commentary. But I wanted to get it out there and share my opinion, and this has been on so long. This has possibly been my longest commentary ever, so thank you all so much for listening. Your opinion does count, and your support and help each other helps. Yeah, I'm just rambling now. I'm going to end this video before I fall asleep, and I apologise if I've made you fall asleep. But yeah, good night and sweet dreams. I'll see you all in the next video. I've been Higgsy007. Love ya. Bye.